Hi guys, and welcome to another video here on my channel. Welcome to day 3 of my back to school series week. In day 1 I shared a back to school supplies haul. Day 2 I shared a homework station, and today is day 3 and we are talking planning. This planning is going to work for those that are in middle school, high school, even college, and I have the happy planner to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys a couple different spreads to work with different grade levels, as well as a Dollar Tree student planner, which I'm going to start with right now. So using the Dollar Tree student planner, they have one that goes from July, is it July? Yeah, from July 2016 to June of 2017. There's also the 2017 monthly planner as well. For those that watched my Decorate With Me Dollar Tree Planner sidebar, I'm going to be using this one next year for my blog. I really wanted to have everything in one place for 1 year. So we're going to be using the one that I'm using now for my blog as an example. So let's jump to March. This is the easy color coding method. It's not anything new. You guys probably know about it. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your classes in the sidebar. So we're just going to cross out notes, and each class is going to have a color. I'm going to use my class schedule from my freshman year. Alright? And the way that my classes were split, my freshman year of college, let me be specific. And the way that my classes were set up were either you'd have it once a week, so a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Thursday. And that would be for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Yes, I know. Then it will either be Monday, Wednesday, and if you had a class 2 times or 3 times a week, it would be an hour and 45 minutes. So let's start out with the Monday, the first class, which is, and I recommend that when you're color coding to put the class in the order that you have it. So for those that are in high school and middle school, I know you guys have the class every day, so you can just put your class with the color over here. You don't have to put it on a specific day unless it's an elective or like gym class or something. Then you can choose a different color for that. And Paper Mate flares come in an array of colors. They don't bleed through the page regardless of what planner you're using, regardless of how thin the paper is, because this paper is not thick. So that is that. So let's start with Monday, and I'll do the Monday, Wednesday, which was academic writing. Then Monday, which was intro to economics. Then, let me do it this way. Then Tuesday, Thursday. The first one was public speaking. Then computer literacy. And then the last one was integrated science. And the integrated science class was chemistry meets physics. Oh, the joy. Alright, so all you would go and do is write in for each class, super easy, when you would have an assignment. So if you have an economics test, write that in. Or if you have an economics paper, I highly suggest abbreviating as well, and then write in the number of the paper that you're doing. So if the class, you know that you're gonna have like 5 or 6 papers if you're in college, or even if you're in middle school or high school, whatever paper you're doing, if it's the first paper of the year, put a number next to it. Then I used the wrong color. So let's just go over this really quick. Alright, there we go. Now moving on to a class like public speaking. We'll just put it on a Thursday, public speaking test. And then we'll do Thursday. We'll even put like a science test down here. Those were always the fun days when multiple classes have the same assignment due. Having 2 tests in one day. Yay, fun. And then I'll put on a Wednesday, English paper due. You guys get the point. Color coding based off your class and having it that way. Another option that I want to show you guys is writing it in pencil. And I recommend writing things in pencil, and then if you want to do the color coding, to go over it that way, because teachers change their mind. It never fails. It can be because of weather, it could be because they're sick, it could just be because people are not getting the material in the class and they change it. So I highly recommend writing it in pencil. Now, after writing it in pencil, you can put your class over here if you want. You do not have to, because you're not color coding based on class. In this way, you're color coding based on the assignment. So you already wrote the class in. So for Monday, if you have that economics test, you would highlight it in yellow once the teacher says, yes, the test is happening. Same thing with the public speaking test and the computer literacy test. You'd highlight the test. Then if you have an assignment due, you would highlight it a different color. So say blue. Also, if you want to take it a step further, you can also highlight the quizzes that you have. But if you don't really care about the differentiation between a test and a quiz, and a test is a test and a quiz is a quiz regardless, then you can have your test and quizzes one color, and then have your assignments be another color, and that would be for every single class. And you would just know that what's in yellow is a test and what is in blue is an exam. I'm sorry, an assignment. And then you come over here and you would just put a key here for yourself as a reminder. Yellow is test and quiz, blue is assignment. So that's another way to color code, and this is using a dollar planner from Dollar Tree. Now moving on to the Happy Planner. I love 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 vertical planners because you just have more space. So for those people that have the schedules, let's start off with my college friends out there. In the morning, let's do Monday first. So morning, afternoon, evening is what the Happy Planner does, but then there's also the MDN, which is morning, day, and night. Same concept. So night for me would be my 6 o'clock classes. So on Monday, I would have my 6 o'clock class, 6 to 9:45. I'm not even going to write intro because I would just write economics. Alright. And then Monday, Wednesday from 2 to 3:45. I had academic writing. So this is just for you guys to get familiar with your schedule. You don't always have to put your schedule in here. Tuesday, Thursday, in the morning, I'm gonna put public speaking up here. And then at 4 o'clock, I would have computer literacy. And then 6 to 9:45 would be science. No, 7:45. This one wasn't a 9:45 class, thankfully, because it was twice a week. And then whatever you have going on the weekend, then if you needed to like meet with your advisor, you can put it here. And also, because this is like a huge block, you can just put an arrow. And then if you know you have a test coming up, you can just put text next Monday and then put the date. So that is an option as far as that, to put an arrow to mark off the huge block of time. Also here, if you don't have another class, or if you have like a class at 2 o'clock, you can put the 2 o'clock here, whatever. So that is that, setting it up and putting your classes in. You can also use your sidebar to put your classes, but after a while you're going to know your schedule. So when it comes to just writing in your assignments, you can write them in the spots that you would have it, similar to what I did down here. So let me just show you guys really quick on another page. So you can just put academic writing, and you can put paper due next class. And then for science, you can put science test next week, since this is a Tuesday, Thursday class. So that is one way to do it in your Happy Planner to stay organized. Pretty basic, pretty generic. You don't have to use stickers, you don't have to use washi. If you choose to liven up your planner, fine. But I'm also using a pencil because things change. But you can also use a pen, and there's fancy stickers on Etsy if something was canceled or if something was next week. And you can always use an arrow. So if class was canceled, you just cross it out and put class canceled, just so you know. And if your test was postponed, you just cross it out and put postponed to next Wednesday. And that's that. Super easy. Now for my friends out there that could care less about a planner. I have my 10th grade sister that could care less about a planner. Okay? So, in your notebook, after you've written your notes, you can put in the assignment that you have due. Or you can just have a running to-do list, and in that to-do list, you can put your economics class, paper due, next class. Or if you want to get fancy and you want to have a DIY style planner, you can put class, assignment, due date. Okay? So economics, paper, let's just say it's due September 12th. And then you'll have public speaking, exam. So that's another way to do it. And again, or you can just put a running to-do list. Really, really easy for all my lazy friends out there. Nothing really major. So that is it for my planning video, giving you guys different options of planning that you can do. Really simple, really easy, really basic, regardless of whether you want to make a list, whether you want to do the month at a glance, or whether you want to do the style of the vertical, which is morning, day, and night, or morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on whether you're using a Happy Planner or a Erin Condren Life Planner. And both the Erin Condren and Happy Planner have removed the morning, day, and night, morning, afternoon, and evening tabs at the top, but you can plan your day accordingly that way anyway. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching day 3 of my back to school week, and stay tuned for day 4 tomorrow, where I'm going to be talking organization hacks for those high schoolers and college students out there that could care less about organizing. I'm going to give you some lazy organization hacks in my next video. Be sure to check out Monday and Tuesday's video, which was my back to school haul, as well as Tuesday, which was my my homework station on Tuesday. And thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the blog chaoticcritic.com for more information. Check out my Instagram and Twitter at chaoticcritic, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 4 of back to school week.